be advised, UVU in Orem has had an active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event.
In tonight's Big Story Breakdown, we are digging into gun violence. Just hours ago, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed during an event at Utah Valley University. Kirk was the co-founder of the youth conservative group Turning Point USA.
Within the last hour, we've learned the person who shot Kirk is not in custody. FBI Director Kash Patel now revealing the person of interest they had taken into custody earlier this evening has been released. In an earlier press conference, officials said they were looking for a person wearing dark clothing, and they did have surveillance footage. They said the shooter potentially fired from a roof of a campus building, killing Kirk.
One man who attended the event describes being in the crowd in the moments after the shooting.
Just everyone had dropped down, and for a few moments they were just not moving. And people started getting up and moving, and the crowd started pushing me, and they pushed me so that I was basically backstage.
Other witnesses describe people taking cover and running from the scene. Utah Valley University, where that event was held, has canceled classes until further notice.
Governor Kevin Stitt ordering all flags in Oklahoma to be flown at half-staff to honor Charlie Kirk. Here's one of the posts he made this evening saying Kirk was a great American and the world will be a darker place without him here. The governor said he's praying for Kirk's wife and children and all those who knew him and looked up to him. We also have the Attorney General, Gettner Drummond, sharing this post saying he's devastated for Kirk's family after his senseless assassination. Drummond says the politically motivated violence has become a deadly epidemic in this country, and there's never justification to extinguish a life over political disagreements. Now, we also spoke with Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin following the news of Kirk's death. He says Kirk was a friend of his and feels Kirk gave everyone a chance to be heard.
And it's frustrating that someone, because they oppose his traditional values, his Christian values, and maybe his opposing political views, decide they need to silence him. They decide that he needs to be removed permanently from his wife and his kids and from the rest of us. For what? What did Charlie do? Charlie brought an opportunity for the opposing argument to be brought to light. I mean, he literally traveled to the campuses and gave everybody an opportunity to speak their mind, and he didn't belittle them. He spoke to them in a kind and loving voice. He would debate them, sure. Would he use Christian values to debate them? Absolutely. Is that ugly? Is that threatening? No. People simply disagreed with him, not because he made laws, because they didn't agree with his point of view. And that was enough to assassinate him?
Mullin is calling on leaders and lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to reset the temperature of the political environment. Senator James Lankford also putting out a message on social media saying he and his wife praying for the family and all those who serve at Turning Point.
The Oklahoma Democratic Party also condemning both political and gun violence in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death. State Rep John Waldron serves as the party's chair. He says political violence and assaults on free speech threaten all in a free society. The party is calling for action, urging the government to step in and stop these attacks before they happen. Former Congresswoman Gabby Gifford says she was horrified to hear of Kirk's shooting. In her statement, she said democratic societies will always have political disagreements, but we must never allow America to become a country that confronts those disagreements with violence. Gifford suffered a serious brain injury after being shot in the head in 2011, this while hosting a meet and greet with constituents in Arizona.
This is not the first political violence attack we've seen this year. In June, a top Democratic lawmaker in Minnesota was shot along with her husband in their home. Vance Bolter is accused of shooting Democratic State Representative Melissa Hortman and is also accused of shooting and hurting State Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Investigators say Bolter had a hit list of 45 elected officials.
He researched his victims and their families. He used the internet and other tools to find their addresses and names, the names of their family members. He conducted surveillance of their homes and took notes about the location of their homes.
Bolter is facing 6 federal charges of murder, stalking, and firearms violations. If convicted, he could face the death penalty. His trial is expected to begin late next year.
President Trump has also been the target of several assassination attempts during his presidential campaigning and as president. Just over a year ago, the president survived an attempt at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. The shooting left at least one attendee dead and 2 injured. The FBI later identified the shooter as Thomas Cooks, who fired multiple shots from a building rooftop before he was killed by Secret Service agents. Just 2 months after that attempt, the president faced another while golfing at his international golf club in Florida. A jury has now been seated for Ryan Routh, who has pleaded not guilty to 5 criminal charges. During jury selection, he made efforts to exclude people with connections to law enforcement, arguing it was a conflict of interest. He interrupted the end of selection, accusing the prosecution of not selecting 2 jury members on the basis of race. Opening statements start tomorrow morning. President Donald Trump posted a 4-minute-long video tonight addressing the deadly shooting of Charlie Kirk. The president called Kirk's death a dark moment for America.
Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven.
The president also promised to track down those responsible for killing Kirk, claiming radical left political violence has taken too many lives, referencing the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson and the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise.
College campuses across the country have been on alert these past few weeks because of a rise in active shooter threats. In all cases, police say the reports were hoaxes or swatting calls. Several colleges like the University of Arkansas, Colorado Boulder, and University of Chattanooga all received reports from students following the threats. Many campuses announced no evidence of a gunman or violence was found. An FBI spokesperson said the Bureau is aware of many of the reported incidents and is helping with investigations. A school shooting in Colorado under investigation tonight. We're learning 3 teens are in critical condition, including the suspect. This happened around noon at Evergreen High School, located about 30 miles southwest of Denver. Police say the shots were fired on school grounds, but outside of the building. Police couldn't confirm how the shooting suspect was shot, but say police did not fire any rounds. Colorado Governor Jared Polis put out a statement saying he's praying for the victims.
The weapon used today was a handgun, a revolver handgun. We did determine that we have multiple scenes at the school. We have some scenes inside the school where some shootings occurred, and then outside the school as well. So several crime scenes to process and lots of people to interview. There were a lot of kids inside the school who saw it, heard it, witnessed something, so we'll be tied up with those interviews for some time.
This marks the 47th school shooting this year. 24 on college campuses, 23 on K-12 school grounds.
And that was your big story breakdown tonight. You can stay up to date with the latest updates on Charlie Kirk's shooting and that school shooting as well on OKCFox.com.
Plus, head over to our YouTube page to watch all of our previous big story breakdowns. Just scan the QR code that you see here on your screen or search OKC Fox.